It's officially the holiday season in the beauty space. The holiday gift sets are arriving at Sephora. There are already so many available, and I wanted to go over them with you in today's video and chat about which ones I think are the best, which ones are the worst, share the true breakdown as far as value goes so you can decide which ones you want to pick up, whether you're shopping for yourself or you're really ahead of the game and you're already doing your holiday shopping. It can be a little bit overwhelming because I feel like so many brands are launching a ton of gift sets these days. Even throughout the year, there were a lot of gift set launches. And I think it's a great way to try out multiple products from a brand and sometimes get a really good deal. But sometimes brands can be a little bit sneaky and attach a retail value that's not quite there. So my goal with these videos is just to, like I said, break it down for you so you can shop strategically, not waste your money. And I also like to share some products that I'm eyeing myself. So let's jump into it and go over the first round of gift sets that are currently available. Let's actually start with the Sephora favorite sets. I will say, typically you are getting a really good deal when it comes to these kits if you'll end up using most or all of the products inside them. Sephora usually does a really good job of including really popular products, trendy products, but also full-size products from different brands. And usually the value is worth maybe like twice what you pay for it, if not more. So you aren't really going to see a ton of like super inflated values attached to these kits. I also like the fact that you get to try out multiple products from different brands. So it gives you a chance to kind of sample a bunch of different options rather than just like one blush from a certain brand in different colors. So typically I do think they're worth the money if you feel like you'll use most of the products. So let's go in order of most expensive Sephora favorite set to least expensive. The first one is the makeup must-have set. It's $69. It says online that it's a 12-piece curated set of best-selling makeup and skincare. I think there are only 11 products just based on the photo and the description. Sometimes Sephora's descriptions are a little bit off, so I'm just going based on that. But it looks like there are 4 full-size products instead of 5. And then they also have 3 deluxe sizes and 4 minis. So let's start with the full-size products. The first thing in here is the Glossier Boy Brow, which is worth $22. This does come in the clear shade. I really like this brow gel. I feel like it's a nice formula if you want to create like a thick, fluffy look. It doesn't have the strongest hold compared to other formulas I've tried, but it definitely gives your brows like a textured appearance. If you have very thin brows, this is a really nice option. They also included the Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil in the shade Pinch Me Pink. This is worth $30. I do have a couple of these. Honestly, I like this formula a lot. I don't know if it's going to be everyone's favorite. I find it to be very soft, very approachable, super easy to apply whether you're using a brush, a sponge, or your fingers. You can just tap it into the skin. It doesn't last as long as other cream blushes in my collection, but it looks very natural. It gives your skin a very beautiful glow and you can layer it with other products. I actually haven't tried the Tower 28 SOS Daily Rescue Facial Spray. I hear really good things about it. This is worth $28. I know people with sensitive skin really enjoy this product. I think if you have very easily irritated skin, very red skin, which I do, I've heard a lot of people who have that skin type say they love this. So I actually need to pick this up and try it out. I do have the moisturizer from the line, and that is an amazing option when my skin is kind of freaking out, when I'm just dealing with a lot of irritation. They also included the full-size Haus Labs PhD Hybrid Lip Glaze. This is a plumping gloss in the shade Guava, and that's worth $26. I haven't tried that either, but I do think that is a really pretty color. The full-size products alone are worth $106, and the kit is $69. So that's already a $37 savings if you would have purchased those products separately compared to buying this kit, plus you get the 7 other products in here. So I think that really does make it worth it if you think you would use all of those products in the kit. As for the minis, you do get the Grande Cosmetics Grande Lash, which is a lash enhancing serum. I do find this product very, very effective. The mini is actually not a tiny product. You get about half the amount you would get in the full-size product, so it's worth $33.49. And I do feel like the mini lasts a long time. They say the full-size product lasts about 3 months, but I've always found that I could stretch mine longer than that. You also get a mini Fenty Gloss Bomb in the shade Riri, which is a shimmering rose mauve nude. This is worth $4.90, so it's not worth a ton, but I will say the mini Fenty glosses typically last a long time too, because the full-size Fenty glosses usually come with more product than other brands include. So even as a mini, I feel like you get quite a bit in there. The last mini is the Paula's Choice Perfecting 2% BHA Liquid Exfoliant, which is one of my favorite skincare products. I've been using it for years at this point. This is worth $8.75. If you have really oily skin or you have textured acne-prone skin, this product makes a difference. I actually recently started working this back into my routine, and I feel like it makes my skin look very smooth, and it kind of keeps my oily skin from getting too out of control. control. Typically, the deluxe size products are pretty small and the minis are a little bit bigger. I always mix it up because in my mind, deluxe sounds better than mini, but there are a couple of deluxe size products. The Milk Makeup Hydro Grip, this is a pretty tiny sample. It's worth $3.38. I do like this primer. I feel like that's just kind of like an add-in. A lot of people have tried it at this point, but if you haven't, it'll give you enough to be able to use it at least a few times. The Sol de Janeiro Hair and Body Fragrance Mist. This one's worth $4.75. So again, not a ton of product in here, but if you want to try out that scent specifically, it might be nice to have that as an extra. And then the Olaplex number 7 Heat Protectant Hair Oil. So when you take all of that into account, this kit is worth $173.27. So just a note for these videos, when I calculate the price, I always do price per ounce or price per gram compared to how much you get in a full-size product. Sometimes on Sephora's website, they do sell minis. The minis are usually more expensive because they upcharge for a mini, whether that has to do with manufacturing costs or packaging or just what it costs to have the product available on Sephora's website. It's hard to say. I know when I asked in the past, some people say that they prefer to hear it calculated that way. So if possible, I'll share that as well. So if you like to calculate it that way, it's worth $192. So even with the lower amount of $172.27, you're getting an extra $104.27 or $104.27. There we go. That is the extra value you're getting compared to what you pay at $69. So definitely worth it if you think you would use a lot of these products, a lot of these brands. I feel like it's a really good kit. There's a nice variation in terms of skincare and makeup, a lot of very popular brands, a lot of trendy products. So I could see this one selling out pretty quickly. Okay, the next kit is the Sephora Favorites Cozy and Clean Makeup and Skincare Set. This one is $64, a little bit less expensive, but you do get 10 products in here. So a few less or one less, unless there are actually 12 in that other one. You get 4 full-size products, 3 deluxe sizes, and 3 minis. They actually don't list a value for this one, so I'll tell you what it is. The 4 full-size products in here are from Kosas, Amicole, LYS Beauty, and Merit. So the Kosas Plump and Juicy Lip Booster Buttery Treatment is a full-size product worth $25. I actually haven't tried this product. I don't really think I've heard very much about it, but I'm assuming you could use it as like a daily lip treatment or an overnight treatment. I do have the Amicole Hydrating Lip Treatment Oil in the shade Bliss. It's really beautiful. This formula to me feels more like a typical gloss. It's pretty sticky, but very long wearing, very comfortable on the lips. It gives your lips such a beautiful, smooth shine. So I think that's a great product. The LYS Beauty Higher Standard Satin Matte Cream Blush in the shade Self Love. I don't think I have this shade, but I do have a few of these. They did a holiday set 2 years ago, and I got 3 minis, which was a great deal. Typically, they do a holiday set with a couple of minis, so that might be worth checking out once they launch it, but this is worth $18. This is an interesting cream blush formula because they market it as a matte cream, and I feel like that's actually very accurate. If you have very oily skin or you want a blush that will last all day, this is such a good cream formula to go with. I don't find it as flattering on my skin these days because if I am wearing a cream blush, usually I want like a little bit of a glow, a slight luminosity, but I do think this formula is amazing if you have very oily skin, and I do tend to use it more so in the summer. And then you also get a full-size blush from Merit. This is their Flush Balm Cream Blush in the shade Cheeky. This is worth $30. I do have this one. I'm pretty sure I have that actual shade, and this is a formula I tend to like in the winter. It's very moisturizing, really pretty. It almost has like a little bit of a transparency to it, so you can actually see your skin underneath, but you can also build it up to look pretty intense on the cheeks as well. It's kind of one of my go-to cream blushes when I have like very subtle makeup on, but I want a pop of color on the cheeks. As for the mini products, you do get the Necessaire Body Retinol Repair Serum. This is worth $18.33. It's not a terrible size. The full-size product comes with 5.1 ounces and the mini is 1.7 ounces. So not quite half, but there's probably enough in there that you could decide whether or not you like the product. The Cali Ray So Blown Primer is one of my absolute favorites. This is worth $12.24. I love this primer because it's incredibly smoothing, very moisturizing, but my makeup actually lasts really well when I wear it on top of this primer compared to a lot of other smoothing silky primers. Sometimes my makeup will slip around, but that is definitely one of my favorites. I just filmed an updated version on my top 3 favorite makeup products in every category. If you want to check it out, I'll link it below, but I named that one as one of my favorites, and I think it made my list last year too. The last mini is the Say Glowy Super Gel in the shade Rose Glow, which I'm pretty sure is their newest shade, and that's a fairly new launch. So it's kind of nice they included that one in case you don't already own it. And again, a pretty good size. You get half the amount you would get in the full size product. This is worth $14. As for the deluxe products, the Ilia Lip Sketch Hydrating Lipstick Lip Liner Crayon, it's like an all-in-one product. This is worth $13. And then 2 skincare products, the Ulla Henriksen Banana Bright Plus Instant Glow Moisturizer. I've never tried this. This is worth $7.64. And I also haven't tried the Summer Fridays Jet Lag Mask. This is worth $7.62. I know people really like that product. I've tried a couple of Summer Friday skincare products. Whenever they're available as like a Sephora point perk, I usually try them out. And they had this like gel cloud cream that was really beautiful. I enjoyed it. So I would definitely be interested in trying more of their skincare. Okay, so again, the full size products alone are worth $93. The kit is $64. So that's a pretty good deal if you're only even interested in trying those. But if you take everything into consideration, it's worth $165.83. Again, if you prefer to calculate the price of the minis based on what Sephora sells them as a separate mini, it's slightly higher at $170.59. So there's just over $100 of added value when you spend $64. Very similar to the last kit, but I think I like this one a little bit better. If I personally didn't own a lot of these products, I already own 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, then I might grab it for myself. But I think that could be a really fun gift for someone because I know that there are a lot of great products in there that perform really well. Okay, moving on to the next one. If you love lip products or you have someone in your life who does, this could be a great option. The Sephora Favorites Precious Pouts Lip Set. It's $54 and it comes with 9 products. You get 4 full-size products, 4 minis, and then 1 deluxe size. So the first full-size product in here is the Makeup by Mario Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serum in the shade Rose Glow. This is worth $24. I don't think I have this specific shade, but I do have quite a few of these. Honestly, I've been reaching for the formula a little bit more. It's basically a glossy stick, but it's slightly thinner than all of the other click-up pens out there. So it really does have this serum-like texture to it. So I actually like taking a little bit when I'm wearing more of a matte lip color like I am today and just applying it on top because it adds that glossy finish without feeling too heavy. You get the Sephora Collection Gel Lip Liner in the shade Rosewood, and that's worth $13. The Glossier Ultra Lip High Shine Lipstick in the shade Ember, and that's worth $22. I haven't tried either one of those products, but I have tried the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump in the shade Primrose, and that's worth $26. Honestly, I wouldn't really recommend paying full price for them because they do go on sale fairly often during like an Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, or you can get them in like some sort of holiday kit, but they're really pretty. They're like the perfect thickness, in my opinion. They are thick enough that they feel really moisturizing on the lips and they last pretty well, but they also give your lips such a smooth, glossy look. Okay, moving on to the mini products. The Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Tinted Lip Oil in the shade Happy did not work for me personally. This is worth $13.40. I just feel like this launch was so hyped up. When did this come out? I want to say like last year, I believe, maybe like last spring. And I was so excited for it. At that time, like tinted lip oils were really just having like a big moment, and lip oils are still really popular. But at this point, there are so many other options out there. To me, it's kind of like a glossy lip stain. Like it goes on glossy, but it's not super glossy. So I'm missing like that really beautiful, shiny look. And then once it dries down, I feel like the lip stain makes my lips look so dry, and it also doesn't last as long as I would like it to. So I'm personally not a fan of that product, but I know some people do enjoy it. You get a mini Fenty Gloss Bomb in the shade Champ Stamp Fantasy, which is a shimmering holographic gold pearl. I don't have that shade, but I do love the gloss bombs. And then a mini YSL Candy Glaze Lip Gloss Stick worth $13.36, which I haven't tried that. And I also haven't tried the Huda Beauty Lip Contour, which is worth $12.60. One more product. This is the deluxe product, so a little bit smaller. The NARS Explicit Refillable Satin Lipstick in the shade Unauthorized, and that's worth $7.38. Okay, so a lot of formulas I personally haven't tried, so I'm sorry I can't share more insight as to whether or not I like them, but the full-size products in here are worth $84, and then the total amount that this kit is worth is $135.64. I'm not exactly sure where they're getting $152 because a lot of these products aren't actually sold as minis. So they might be including the makeup bag in the value, which I will say is kind of a nice touch. All of the Sephora Favorites kits this year come with like a really cute, fluffy looking makeup bag, a colorful one. And I would rather that than like packaging that you end up tossing. So I do think that's a nice touch. It does add a little bit of value there, But in the end, I do think it's a good deal because you're getting an extra $81 in value compared to what you pay for it, as long as you think you would wear all of these shades, all of these formulas. The last Sephora Favorites kit is the Bold and Blushing Blush and Lip Set. This one is $42. It's the most affordable out of all four, but it's also the smallest, obviously. This is a 6-piece set of blushes and lip glosses, including bestsellers. So you get 3 minis and 3 full-size products that are supposed to help you achieve a natural everyday look. The first full-size product in here is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder Flushed Matte Color for cheek and lips in Rose and Brunch. That is the longest name. It's worth $25. I don't have this shade, but I do have one of these products. I like it. I do like the glowy version a little bit better, which I think they market as like a highlighter or a low lighter, but the matte version is nice. Again, if you have oily skin, it's very easy to apply product. It's such an interesting texture. Like, it is a true balm, but it's not luminous or it's not, you know, super glowy. It does dry down to a true matte finish, which again, nice if you have oily skin. The Lawless Pinch My Cheeks Soft Blur Cream Blush in the shade Angel, that's worth $29. I haven't tried that personally. And then I also haven't tried the Refi Lip Blush in the shade Wine, and that's worth $24. As for the minis, you do get the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm in the shade Iced Coffee or the scent Iced Coffee. That's worth $12. Again, nice that they included a little bit of a newer launch. Sometimes with these kits, you get an older product that you might already have in your collection, but I believe Iced Coffee was their latest launch. I'm excited to see if Summer Fridays does like a mini set of lip butter balms again, because I got the set last year and I used it so much. So I can't wait to see what they have in store. And their sets sold out so fast last year. So like the second those go live, I probably will end up grabbing them as long as I don't have the shades they're offering. And then you also get a mini Patrick Ta Major Volume Plumping Lip Gloss in the shade 2ccs. I do have a couple of these. I don't think I have this shade. It's worth $8.67, but they do sell a mini for $15. So not a ton of product in there. There was a time period where this was like one of my favorite gloss formulas. I do think it's a nice formula, but I would say that I personally prefer the Lawless Plumping glosses or even the Buxom glosses over Patrick Ta. The Patrick Ta formula is very sheer, even the red one. So it's kind of nice if you want like the most subtle hint of color, but it does have like this warm cinnamon scent, which isn't my favorite. Okay, the last product in here is from Pat McGrath. It's the lip gloss in the shade Aliangelic. This is worth $9.67. So the entire total is $108.34 or $114.67 if you factor in the retail cost of the Patrick Ta Mini. The cost is $42. So it's at least $66.24 in added value. Again, a really great deal if you've been curious to try out a lot of these products. And I do think that these are fun gift ideas because if you are on a certain budget, say you don't want to spend over $50 for a gift, but you gift something like this, it's kind of nice because, I mean, $50 is still a significant gift, but it's like giving someone something that's worth twice that. So maybe it feels a little bit more significant. And I always love doing gift sets during the holiday season because I think there are so many fun options. I'm not on the ball enough to purchase products in September to gift in December. I always wait till the last second. Okay, let's talk about the Rare Beauty gift sets. So Rare Beauty came out with 3 different options. The one that I feel like is the most highly anticipated is whatever they do when it comes to cheek products. So they did do a mini blush and Luminize trio. That's $35. This set was inspired by their viral dewy blush hack, which I think is just mixing their blush with their highlighters. Although I've seen a trend on TikTok recently where people do like a circle of blush with a dot of highlighter in the middle, and they're calling it like a jelly donut look. I haven't tried that. I'll usually just mix them together on the back of my hand, but I do think their products mix really well. So this comes with 3 minis. You get some best-selling products and then some new exclusives. I think 1 is an existing product and then 2 are set exclusives. So 2 liquid blush minis in Virtue, which is a beige peach, and then Beloved, which is the set exclusive, and it's a muted ox blood. The Positive Light Liquid Luminizer Mini is in the shade Enliven, and again, a set exclusive peach with gold flecks. So I think what's kind of nice is Rare Beauty does sell mini highlighters and mini blushes right now, and they have a ton of options. So in the past, when these were a little bit more highly anticipated, I think it's because it was more difficult to get your hands on a mini. They didn't sell them separately. So the only time you could really get a mini highlighter or mini blush is if you purchase the holiday set. Now that they have them available as minis separately, this might not be as as appealing, although there are set exclusive shades, which does kind of add to the value if you want one of these shades and you can't purchase it on its own. I do think that this set is really gorgeous. I like that they went in a different direction than like the typical pink set, because usually all of the shades lean very pink, very rosy, and this one is more of like a warm tone set. I don't think these shades would be the most flattering on my skin tone, so I don't plan on picking this up, but I do think they're very well coordinated. They would flow so well together if you wanted to use all three or mix and match them. I do have something kind of similar to Virtue, maybe slightly more coral. I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, I do think it is a stunning set. As for the actual value, the set is $35, they claim $44 in value. Obviously, they're calculating their value on what they charge for the minis, but they do upcharge a little bit for their minis, which I still think they're worth trying, because a mini blush, even a mini highlighter, is going to last forever because it is a very rich, very pigmented formula. So even though you pay a little bit more price per ounce if you're breaking it down, I personally would go with the minis because I never go through a full-size Rare Beauty liquid product. If you are comparing it price per ounce compared to a full-size product, the blushes are worth $10.12, and then the highlighters are worth $4.50 because the full-size highlighters come with a lot more product. So the set is actually worth about $24.74 in true value, but again, you can't purchase all of these shades as actual minis. They're true set exclusive. So it might be worth it to you to actually grab this set if you feel like you'll end up wearing all three of these shades, and I do think it's really beautiful. So I just wanted to talk about that one in case you're thinking about buying it. They also did the Selena's Essential Eye Duo Eyeshadow Stick and Mascara set. This one is $28. It comes with a full-sized eyeshadow stick in a limited edition bronze olive shade, and then a mini mascara. This one's not actually available yet. It's coming to the app exclusively on September 13th, and then it will be available everywhere else on September 14th. So just something to note. So the eyeshadow stick is $22, or they normally are, but again, this is a limited edition shade. And then the mascara is actually sold for $11, but it's worth $12. So this kit does have a value of $34. It's a little bit of a savings. Truthfully, for me personally, the eyeshadow stick isn't super appealing. I think her eyeshadow sticks have gotten pretty good reviews, but I feel like eyeshadow sticks are really just something that you can get at the drugstore for a less expensive price point, and the quality is going to feel very, very similar, at least in my experience. The Milani Gilded Eyeshadow Sticks are my absolute favorite, drugstore or high-end, and I think those are like, I want to say half the price. I personally am not really into high-end eyeshadow sticks, but if you absolutely are and you love her mascara, maybe this would be worth it for you. I love her mascara. I think it's a great one for like lifting and curling the lashes. But I feel like for me, I'd rather just go with like a full-size mascara. That definitely comes down to personal preference. There's a little bit of a savings there. It's basically like paying for the eyeshadow stick, getting the mini mascara for half off. I just don't think it's the most exciting one. The last set I think is kind of interesting. It is the Mini Fine Comfort Lotion and Fragrance set. So this one is $30. It's not available yet. This one's coming exclusively to the app on September 20th. It doesn't say it's going to be available in store or online otherwise, so just something to note. But this is a set that contains a limited edition travel fragrance spray and then a mini body lotion, both in the Fine Comfort set. I guess they don't sell this product as an actual fragrance. It says that Selena loved the scent so much, she turned it into a perfume to take with you on the go. So the perfume is actually limited edition. You can't get it otherwise. So I feel like that is kind of a nice way to market the set and get people to buy it by including a product that you can't actually buy. The only thing is, if you love the fragrance and you want to repurchase it, it's not available. Although I think because they're doing the mini, it's probably a hint that they're going to end up launching like the actual fragrance as a standalone product. Anyway, it has notes of lemon zest, jasmine, and warm cashmere wood. I actually haven't tried any of her body care line. I just placed a Sephora order, and one of my either samples or point perks was a mini lotion. So I'm excited to try it out because that sounds kind of nice. The scent does. So the lotion in here is worth $10.63. There's a little bit over 1/3 the amount you get in a full-size lotion. So I feel like that's pretty good. And then based on what this kit costs, they're implying the perfume is worth about $32.37. Honestly, not a bad set. If you really like the scent and you like the idea of getting it as a perfume, I feel like this could be a fun option. But I would say, I'm assuming they're going to end up launching it as like just a true fragrance either later this year or maybe in the beginning of next year, because I can't imagine they would just launch it as like a true limited edition scent if people really like it. Okay, this next product is actually a palette, but I wanted to share it with you because it's kind of like a set in my mind. It's the Urban Decay Moondust Space Cowboy Glitter Eyeshadow Quad. It's $39. I actually just bought this. I wasn't really planning on buying a ton of sets right away, but I wanted to grab this one because I have been wearing the Moondust shadow in the shade Space Cowboy so much this year. I actually have it on today. I do have it on top of a cream shadow from KVD Beauty, which is also pretty sparkly, so it's definitely intensified, but I love the Moondust formula. If they were not $24, I would probably have all of them, but it's hard to justify spending $24 on a single shadow when you can get a palette for just a little bit more. I do have two, and typically if they go on sale during like a 21 Days of Beauty, I'll grab another one, but I actually missed them during the last sale. I don't know if it was an Ulta sale or a Sephora sale. I went to go buy one and they were completely sold out, which happens every single time. So anyway, last year they did a holiday palette with a couple of Moondust shadows and I didn't buy it, so I wanted to make sure I grabbed this one, especially because I love the shades. So a lot of these shades lean like very peachy, very pink tone. It's definitely a warmer quad overall. None of them are current shades available on Sephora's website, but I'm not sure if they've been launched in the past. So they have Space Cowboy Rides Again, A-List Energy, Sparkle Hour, and Lunar Lit. As for the actual value, the eyeshadows in this palette come with a little bit less product. So full-size Moondust eyeshadow comes with 0.06 ounces, and in this palette, they come with 0.05 ounces. So each shadow in here is worth $20, which means the entire palette is worth $80. So I actually think that's a really good deal. I mean, I'm someone who's not going to make it through a full-size Moondust eyeshadow. It's an interesting texture. It almost feels like the shadow has hard pan, which is how I've described it in the past. It's like this pressed shadow. It's not something you're going to fly through very, very quickly by any means. So I am really excited to get this palette in the mail. I think the colors are gorgeous. I'm excited to have 4 shadows for a significantly less expensive price than if I were to purchase 4 separately, which would be almost $100, $96. So Too Faced launched a couple of holiday sets as well. I will say, depending on where you shop, Sephora or Ulta, you can end up getting a couple of different sets. Sometimes brands will end up launching different sets at both retailers, but they're kind of similar. There are just maybe a few differences. So if you are really interested in trying sets from Too Faced, I would also recommend checking out Ulta's website as well to check those out. I can do a separate video on Ulta exclusive sets if that's something you want to see. I think their best set is the Better Than Sex Mascara Duo. They usually do this every year or some version of it, and honestly, I wish more brands would do it because if your go-to mascara is the Better Than Sex Mascara, you're saving a good amount here. So it's a $39 set, but $58 in value. It's basically like paying a full price for one mascara and then getting the other one for $10. So it's kind of a nice way to stock up on it at a discounted price. And I personally don't love this mascara, but I know a lot of people do. So this is a great option. Or you could buy it, split it up, use it as a stocking stuffer. If Tower 28 did this set with their Make Waves mascara, I'd buy like 2 or 3 of them because I have purchased that mascara at full price so many times because I run out of it when it's not on sale. And with this set, you know you're getting something you love if it is one of your favorite products. So I think that is the best deal that they have currently available, but they do have a couple of other sets. I will say one kind of surprised me. Let me just pull it up. I had talking points written out with everything broken down and I accidentally deleted them. So bear with me as I break down the value of the next few sets because I'm going to be doing it on the spot. So this is the Too Faced Jewel Crush Blush and Highlighter Face Palette. I will say sometimes with Too Faced holiday collections, you're not getting the same quality that you get with their regular line. They're kind of known for including cheaper quality products within their holiday sets and then attaching like a sky high value to them. It looks like they didn't do that this year, which is kind of refreshing to see from them, honestly, but they might end up launching additional products. We'll see. This is actually their Cloud Crush Blurring Blush formula and then also their Moon Crush highlighter formula, which I haven't tried the highlighters, but I love their Cloud Crush Blurring Blushes. They're so smooth, very beautiful on the skin. They definitely have a blurring quality to them, and normally I'm not a matte blush fan, but these changed my mind because they're so flattering on the skin. So anyway, with this set, you get 4 products in here. It's a $39 palette, and when I broke it down, let me just, again, give me 1 second here. The blushes in here come with a very similar amount to what you get in a full-size blush, just a little bit less. So each blush in here is worth $25.53. So total, the blushes are worth $76.59, and then the highlighter is worth a little bit less. The highlighter is worth $15.83. So this palette is worth worth over $90 in value and you pay $39. But normally I just kind of write off Too Faced palettes because I'm like, the quality isn't there. But because it is a formula that they already have out as part of their line, and I do love the blushes, I've heard good things about the highlighter, I wouldn't necessarily completely write it off this year, especially because the value is definitely there with that palette. So seems like maybe they put a little bit more thought into their holiday collections this year. Although I will say the eyeshadow palettes don't look as appealing to me personally. They don't say if it's like the same formula you get in any of their other palettes. These are just like limited edition holiday palettes. So the first one is the Mini Precious Gems eyeshadow palette. It comes with 5 what they're calling ultra luxurious shadows. Apparently it smells like sugared grapes. Honestly, the color story in here isn't really appealing to me personally. I feel like the swatches look different than the palette, so that's kind of throwing me off, but it's basically like paying, what is it? So it's $29. There are 5 shadows in here. It's basically like paying $5.80 per shadow, which is kind of on par with what other high-end brands charge for like their mini palettes. That one doesn't do it for me personally, but if the color story really jumps out at you, you might be a fan of it. I do think this set is a little bit of a better deal. It's the Euro Gem makeup set. So you do get the eyeshadow palette, which is worth $29, but you also get 2 full-size products, the Better Than Sex mascara and the Better Than Sex Foreplay lash primer. So those alone are worth $59. So it's basically like paying for those and getting the palette for free. So if you would have repurchased those anyway, you might as well go with this and get that extra palette and either try it out or gift it to someone. Overall, I think their holiday sets this year, like I said, are just a little bit better in terms of what they're offering compared to what they've given out in the past. Usually they end up launching a ton of sets, so they might have more coming later on. We'll see if they do. I'll definitely share them in an upcoming video. I actually had quite a few other products to talk about, like some hair products, some skincare. This video is getting pretty long, and I've noticed my videos are like creeping up to be like 30 minutes or more, and I really try to keep them between like 20, 25 if possible. So I'll probably cut it off here and then come back and do a part 2 in a week or two once additional sets are launched. Actually, before I end it, there is one more thing I want to talk about because I forgot to mention it when I was talking about the Sephora favorite sets, the Perfume sampler set. This is $95, and it's actually a pretty good set this year. I mean, unless I'm remembering wrong, I don't feel like they normally include so many options within one kit, but this one actually comes with 18 different sample size fragrances, and it ranges from florals to warm and spicy to fresh citrus scents. So if you buy this kit, you basically choose your favorite out of the kit, and they give you a gift certificate that you can redeem in stores or online for a full-size fragrance out of these scents. Now, the value of this kit is really dependent on which fragrance you end up choosing as your full-size fragrance. Somebody actually broke it down and posted this comment on Sephora's website, which is amazing. I'll put it on the screen for you so you can either pause or screenshot it for reference, but they actually shared how much savings you would be getting depending on which perfume you chose to redeem it for. So basically, if you go with a more expensive perfume, like the ones at the top of the list, you'll end up saving even more versus if you go with a less expensive perfume. That kind of comes down to whether or not you actually like the perfumes that are more expensive. But if you would have purchased one of those anyway, it would be worth grabbing the kit because you'll end up saving $55 compared to just buying that perfume. You can also add in the value of getting like the actual samples if that's something that does matter to you. I didn't go through and break down the value of each sample. It is going to vary based on how much you pay for a full-size perfume. But when I've done it in the past, they've been between like $1 and $5, with most of them ending up around the $3 price point. So, I mean, if you add those in, we'll just say $3 just to make it easy. That's $54 in value for the actual samples. And then you can get up to $150 based on which perfume you buy. So this kit potentially could be worth about $204. And again, it's a $95 kit. I think it's a nice way to try out different options, just kind of like at home at your own pace. When I'm in a Sephora store and I'm like smelling perfumes or trying them on, it's hard to keep them straight. It doesn't smell the same as it does by like the end of the day. So I feel like those little perfume samples do have value to me personally. I don't know. I like Scentbird. I've said this before because you get like a 30-day supply. So it's a nice way to build your collection. But I do love giving this set as a gift to people I know who love fragrance, but I don't want to like choose their fragrance for them. They can actually choose it for themselves. And I just think it's kind of fun. $95 is pretty pricey, but when you put it into perspective, as to like how much a fragrance actually costs, it can be a really good deal. Like I said, I think I'll end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. There weren't too many sets this time around that I don't think are, you know, worth trying if the products appeal to you. Most of them have a really good value attached to them and they are worth it and you're getting a great deal, but we'll see. Sometimes brands end up being a little bit deceitful, a little sneaky. So as we move through the holiday season, I'll definitely keep filming these videos if you guys like them. I'll see you very soon with a new video. I have a Sephora haul coming, or like a try on video where I'm testing out new makeup, a couple of other products, or a couple of other videos I'm planning. So stay tuned for those and I'll see you soon with a new one. Bye.